completely backfired. It all started on the Mind the Game podcast with Steve Nash, where KD made a joke about MJ that was very disrespectful, and LeBron, he laughed like way too hard. But this wasn't about stats, highlights, or the usual trash talk. They went after something personal, something tied to MJ's family. Yeah, it cut deep. But Jordan didn't stay silent. He clapped back in a way that left the NBA world speechless. He thinks it's funny, but I've got stories that can end his legacy. But that's just the beginning. MJ didn't just defend himself. He exposed receipts, dropping behind-the-scenes info about LeBron's ties to bad people and even hints about his use of performance-enhancing drugs. Today, we're breaking it all down, from the disrespectful joke to MJ's brutal clapback, the hidden drama, and the shocking truths that could rewrite LeBron and KD's legacies. See, to fully understand how this started, we gotta walk through the exact moment on Mind the Game podcast, because the internet initially tried to act like it wasn't that deep until everyone started catching on to the blatant disrespect. The whole episode was just LeBron, Steve Nash, and Kevin Durant talking about the NBA. And out of nowhere,
KD drops the sneakiest diss I've ever heard from an NBA player. They were talking about longevity, minutes, and players needing rest, all that stuff. And KD said this.
You know what I'm saying? You know how hard it is? Some people say, I want to go play baseball, right? And then I want to come back.
He said it with a straight face like he was just stating a fun fact. But no, that was not a fun fact. That was a diss aimed directly at Michael Jordan's trauma. KD basically said Mike quit when it got tough. But the crazy part wasn't even the line. It was LeBron's reaction. You see how LeBron tried to hold the laugh in for half a second, then he broke into a full laugh, and it was obvious this was not the first time they had talked about this. They had been talking about it in private, but listen, context matters here, because Michael's baseball season was the direct result of his father's murder and the trauma that followed. Everyone said that decision was weird, but those who lived it, no, it was just a son honoring his dad's dream. So when KD turned that into a punchline, he was basically poking the one thing Mike never jokes about. And when that clip hit the timeline, social media came for LeBron and KD, and the comments were brutal. The video went ridiculously viral, and sports creators weren't letting it go either. This is nothing but a Michael Jordan diss, bro. A Michael Jordan headshot. And it's crazy coming for like KD, who has literally talking about commitment. And let's be honest, KD knows better. He's a student of the game. He knows the history. That's why it was obvious to everyone that this was an intentional shot at MJ. And LeBron laughing just made it 10 times worse. One guy making a bad joke is one thing, but two superstars smirking about the GOAT's most devastating moments, that's the tackiest thing I've seen in a long while. It's like, if you're gonna trash talk MJ, at least talk about something competitive. Talk about the Wizards' years. Talk about him punching teammates. Take shots at anything else, not the one thing that came from pure grief. And yeah, I saw people saying KD didn't mean it that way. That's cute, but intent doesn't matter when the impact is that loud. The moment LeBron laughed, the whole conversation shifted. What kills me is KD and LeBron always act like they're above drama, but somehow they always end up creating the most drama. KD is sensitive about everything, but he's out here starting beefs on a podcast. LeBron's always trying to act like he's cool with MJ publicly, but the minute he thinks he can make a joke, he's laughing like he's at a comedy show. But if there's one thing we've learned watching MJ for decades, it's that he only stays quiet until you push him too far. And KD and LeBron really poked the one thing they shouldn't have touched. The wild part is that people acted like that moment was some shocking betrayal, when honestly, if you look at the history between LeBron and MJ, it makes perfect sense. Those two do not like each other, and they never have. And with this new development, they probably never will. And the more receipts you pull up, the more it becomes obvious that LeBron laughing at KD's MJ joke wasn't some slip. It was exactly on brand. The clearest example is that Pat McAfee interview earlier this year. LeBron finally just said it out loud. He and Michael Jordan don't talk, like at all.
You and Michael at a good spot? Oh, me and Michael? Jordan. Yeah, we're in a good spot. We don't talk. Why not? What do you think? because I'm still playing.
And LeBron tried to explain it by saying MJ is just too competitive. Like, MJ can't bring himself to chat with another active star until that guy retires. And I remember sitting there like, really? That's the reason? Because the MJ I know talks to plenty of active players. He talked with Kobe so much that they eventually became like brothers. And Kobe was even a greater threat to MJ than LeBron will ever be. That excuse sounded like when you ask someone why their friend doesn't come around anymore, and they go, "Oh no, they're just busy." Yeah, all right. What made it even weirder is LeBron saying that once he retires, then they'll become close. That's like a guy saying he'll finally text his dad after he moves out. Bro, if y'all aren't close now, retirement isn't magically gonna make MJ pick up the phone. If anything, the fact that Bron even said that shows he feels the distance. And honestly, you don't say something like that unless it's been bothering you for years. But this distance isn't new. You can literally go back to the 2022 All-Star Game in Cleveland and see it play out in real time. Remember that moment when MJ came out during the 75th ceremony and the whole arena went crazy? He was hugging everybody that night. But the moment he walked up to LeBron, you could feel the air shift. MJ gave him this quick, stiff, hey man type handshake that looked like two dudes who used to be cool but haven't spoken in months. And then MJ keeps walking, sees Luka, and suddenly he lights up like he just spotted his long-lost nephew. You got it! Okay, guys. Everybody, the whole vibe instantly changed. And it was honestly crazy because in LeBron's own house, on his own night, MJ showed more genuine love to Luka Doncic than to LeBron James. And do you blame him? Let's not pretend LeBron hasn't poked the bear before. The moment LeBron declared himself the greatest NBA player of all time on camera after the 2016 finals, that was the first major crack in their relationship. That one right there made me the greatest player of all time. That's what I felt. Before that, LeBron always called MJ his idol. He wore 23, he copied MJ's celebrations, he called him the reason I picked up a basketball. Then he turned around one night and crowned himself the GOAT while MJ was at home minding his business. MJ is competitive to his core, but he's also prideful. If you're gonna take his throne, cool, earn it, but don't declare it yourself on HBO.
And then there's the one-on-one talk. Every few years, old clips resurface of LeBron saying he'd beat MJ in a prime versus prime matchup. And he never says it humbly either. He always adds some joke like they'd need wheelchairs or stretchers after the game, like he's setting up a movie poster. Check this out.
LeBron in his prime, Michael in his prime. One-on-one, who wins?
Myself, for sure. I mean, I'm gonna go take myself versus anybody. I'll tell you one thing, they're gonna have a few wheelchairs and a couple ambulances there to get us off the floor.
And that's fine when you're talking about random players. But when you're talking about the guy whose legacy you've been chasing your whole career, yeah, you can see why MJ might not be thrilled to hear that. And that's exactly why Katie's little baseball joke wasn't just funny or harmless. It cut deep because that chapter in MJ's life wasn't some random side hustle. It's tied to his dad, James Jordan Sr. Around the time of his death, Michael had been dealing with a gambling habit. It wasn't reckless in a way people imagine, but it did spiral enough that it indirectly set off a chain of events he never saw coming. And tragically, his father allegedly ended up paying the ultimate price for that. There was a lot of heat on the fact that because of Michael's gambling habit, his father paid the price. Michael didn't plan it. He didn't see it coming. And the guilt he carried for years is impossible to overstate. And the baseball connection isn't just a coincidence. Jordan Sr. loved baseball. He grew up playing it. He taught his sons the game, and it was always a dream he wanted to see come alive. When Michael stepped away from basketball to play league baseball, he wasn't being whimsical. He was honoring his father's memory, trying to live out a dream for the man who'd been taken from him. But the pressure didn't stop at home. The media had a field day. Headlines ran wild. Jordan quits basketball for baseball. MJ escapes NBA pressure. Was he suspended? Conspiracy theories circulated like wildfire. Some even suggested that the league forced him out. None of that was true, but Michael had to live through it anyway. The psychological weight of carrying the Bulls, the NBA, his father's death, and all the gossip swirling around him, it was insane. And if you know something about MJ, he doesn't take disrespect lightly. You think KD's joke or LeBron's laugh would fly with anyone else? Maybe. But with MJ, he has a way of remembering every slight and delivering his response with precision. Just take a look at his Hall of Fame speech.
And at this time, I had no thoughts of coming back and playing a game of basketball. So when I did decide to come back in 1995, and then we played Utah in 96, I'm at the center circle and Brian Russell's sitting next to me, and I look over to Brian, do you remember this conversation you made in 1994? About when I think I can guard you, I can shut you down, and I would love to play against you.
Well, you about to get your chance. He wasn't there to be sentimental or soft. He was there to assert dominance, to make sure everyone understood the stakes, and to remind the world why he's untouchable. That speech wasn't just a celebration of his career. It was a masterclass in responding to disrespect. And that's why KD and LeBron should never, ever poke at the things MJ values most. The emotional weight of this story is exactly why MJ is untouchable. You can joke about stats, rings, or highlight reels. You can debate athleticism, leadership, or clutch moments. But you do not touch his baseball year. At the end of the day, this is a man who transformed grief into greatness. He turned personal tragedy into motivation and handled media conspiracies, public scrutiny, and NBA pressure while still becoming the greatest to ever play the game. But it didn't all end there, because MJ responded to LeBron, and boy, it was brutal. He was caught dressed like my housekeeper. He calls himself the GOAT. This makes it just a lot more embarrassing for LeBron, because LeBron's past is full of moments that make him look, let's just say, less than flawless. The dude's history alone makes that laugh feel even more tone-deaf, because this guy is supposed to be the greatest NBA player of all time. Well, not to me, and any NBA fan who watched real players dominate the game. And to understand how deep this goes, this was around the time he went on a call with Diddy and said this: "Hey, everybody know ain't no party like a Diddy party. So yeah, that's what's up." We all know who Diddy is. I mean, this guy literally hosted freak-off parties and has committed some of the darkest crimes you could think of. Yet that's who LeBron decided to be best friends with. Well, that video is trending again, and not in a good way. Because people are asking, was LeBron just hyping Diddy, or was he more involved than he lets on?
Why? Because this guy regularly attended Diddy's parties and was hyping them publicly. And then when Diddy was arrested and convicted, suddenly he stayed silent. For a player with a nice guy public image, being associated with one of hip-hop's most scandal-heavy figures is bad. Then there's Bronny, LeBron's son. LeBron has maneuvered so much power in the league, and it's no secret he's influencing Bronny's path in a major way. The LeBron situation, because what LeBron essentially did here is he used nepotism to get his son a job in the NBA. That's basically what this was, and most people agree that's what happened. Bronny James, the son, did not play his way into the NBA. Most people generally agree with that. For someone who's constantly arguing with MJ's legacy, getting his son in the NBA through nepotism was not a smart move. And what about the performance-enhancing stuff? Let's not dance around it. Jeff Teague openly said LeBron sat out when HGH testing kicked in, then came back looking different. He was on steroids, bro. He had to sit out. He was on steroids for real. Y'all remember that, though, when they was like, he got everybody, they started chasing testing for HGH, and they were like, yo, and he had to sit out, like he said his back was hurt, and he sat out for like 3 weeks, and he came back skinny. This is just, I was in the league, I remember. Then there's the rumor of Dante West and LeBron's mom, Gloria James. Yes, one of the most infamous NBA scandals ever tied to LeBron. West allegedly got involved with LeBron's mom during his Cleveland days. LeBron stayed quiet, let the drama swirl, and the whole locker room felt it. You don't get to laugh at someone's pain when your own history is this loaded. I mean, we never heard a rumor of MJ's teammates getting involved with Dolores Jordan.
On top of all that, LeBron's power syndrome isn't just on the court, it's also in the front office. Everyone who's a proper NBA fan knows how he pressures trades and more or less micromanages franchises. Also, LeBron's not chasing greatness, he's chasing cultural relevance. From his weird announcements to the movies, it's obvious he's trying to match MJ, but MJ didn't need product placement to cement himself as the GOAT. MJ was the product. The man literally has the most successful sneaker franchise in the world. Then there's social media. LeBron doesn't confront, he either subtweets or he shades quietly. You know, that passive-aggressive nonsense? But MJ confronts directly. That's the ultimate contrast. He never had the guts to laugh like that in MJ's face. And even the greats see through him. Charles Barkley and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar have publicly questioned his methods, and they don't hide it. To not have passed Michael in 30-point games, and he's played, I think he's on year 20, right? So when we put it all together, Diddy parties, brawny performance-enhancing pills, Dante West being with his mom, all of that, and LeBron still dares to laugh at MJ's deepest, most personal pain. That's not ignorance, that's someone actively choosing to mock what he cannot touch. But at least he is one of the best of this era. What about KD? What level of achievements does he think he has to have made such a tasteless joke? Kevin Durant might be a good player on the court, but his off-court behavior and history make it obvious he's insecure, entitled, and thin-skinned. You want to poke the GOAT? You better make sure your own resume is spotless.
Let's start with the burner accounts. Yeah, KD has multiple fake Twitter accounts. He's admitted it himself that he hides behind these accounts to clap back at haters. Think about that. The guy who wants to throw shade at MJ can't even handle criticism publicly. He hides behind fake profiles to defend himself. Then there's the Warriors move, which is probably the biggest hit to his credibility. When KD was playing with the Oklahoma City Thunder, they were up 3-1 in the 2016 Western Conference Finals. But then they lost to the Warriors. And instead of trying to come back stronger with his team, KD jumped ship and moved straight to that same team that had just humiliated his former team. He didn't challenge himself, he didn't test his limits, he just went and joined the super team, and he openly said he'd do it again a million times. At least now we know that's the only reason he was able to get his 2 rings. Oh, MJ has 6, by the way. But somehow KD felt like he was in a position to mock MJ. What of his time with the Brooklyn Nets? It was total chaos. He demanded trades, clashed with coaches, and created a toxic environment that everyone in the league was talking about. Reports said he was micromanaging the team, influencing front office decisions, and deciding which players got minutes, and basically expecting everyone to fall in line with his vision. So of course he'd get along with LeBron. Loyalty, accountability, resilience, none of that mattered. It was all about KD's comfort and control. Meanwhile, Michael Jordan built the Chicago Bulls through sweat, skill, and pure leadership. He inspired teammates, earned respect, and faced every challenge head on. Even Barkley has called KD thin-skinned and straight up said that NBA legends won't fully respect him until he wins a championship without the Warriors.
KD is a great player. He's sensitive, 100% sensitive. What I said, and I stick by, KD is a great player, but he's going to have to win a championship without the Warriors to get the old heads' respect. And I used the analogy. I said Kobe Bryant on The Greatest Ever said I had to win a championship without that. And guess what? KD hasn't done it since he left the Warriors. And instead of handling that critique like an adult, this was how he responded, like a little kid.
Trying to get back your timing and conditioning. Really? Be honest.
Correct, yes. He's a dad, or he goes full public with arguments, clapbacks, and petty spats with fans, journalists, teammates, and even legends on Twitter.
KD can score. KD can shoot. But he will never touch MJ in culture, dominance, or pure competitive fire. So yeah, there was no reason for that joke. It's almost as if they haven't learned from history. Once you disrespect an NBA legend, the universe, or the legend themselves, will humble you every single time. Take Dwight Howard, for example. In 2013, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar went on ESPN and talked about his lack of basketball IQ. He straight up said Howard wasn't thinking the game through and questioned his dominance. Dwight fired back and mentioned his 3 Defensive Player of the Year trophies, but the energy was off. Kareem doubled down, saying Dwight didn't want to do any work. Howard tried to clap back, but he just ended up looking insecure. And even LeBron himself has had his fair share of disrespect. Think back to Lance Stevenson in 2014.
The guy leaned in and literally blew air in LeBron's ear in the Eastern Conference Finals because he thought it was funny, just like LeBron and KD thought. But it backfired so hard. Look at the younger players who tried to mock Kobe or MJ back in the day. Old clips, interviews, rookie chatter, all of it came back to bite them. What about Shaq? Don't even get me started. Shaq spent his career destroying anyone who dared disrespect him. Centers tried to talk trash or challenge him, and Shaq annihilated them on the court. So here's the pattern. Disrespect a legend, and you get humbled every single time. Whether it's public roasting, dominating on the court, or just letting history judge you, it comes back. And let's be clear, MJ isn't just any legend. He's the GOAT. Disrespecting him isn't a fun side note. It's arrogance at its peak. Legends don't forgive slights lightly, not even someone like MJ. And the fans remember. So KD and LeBron just painted giant bullseyes on themselves. No matter how much they try to change it, everyone knows he's the standard. He's dominance, culture, fear, and legacy wrapped into one untouchable package. Rings? Check. Cultural influence? Off the charts. Competitive fire? Check. This isn't just about stats or highlight reels. This is MJ defending the throne. He's been tested, mocked, and challenged his entire career. And every time he responds, it's usually dangerous for the person on the other side. So if you think he'll just let KD or LeBron slide because it's a joke, you're kidding yourself. Now, I have a question. MJ mentioned at the beginning that he had some more stories that could ruin LeBron's legacy. Should he expose more? I mean, we have only seen the maid dress in the video with Diddy. Imagine the clips and receipts MJ has that could destroy LeBron. But you know what's funny? MJ wouldn't do that. That's not his style. He lets the record speak. So ask yourselves, if you were MJ, would you let the disrespect slide?